Alright guys, I hit 500,000 views recently, and like I said, I do a second Q&A video. I got quite a lot of questions in, so let's get started. What type of music do you listen to? I mostly listen to things ranging from rock to heavy metal and some techno and electro as well. I'd say my two favourite bands are probably Green Day and The Offspring. Do you ever feel like you just have too many keyboards? Yeah, a little bit. For example, the couch is full of keyboards, so I can't sit on it. My bed is full of keyboards, so I can't sleep in it. And my kitchen is full of keyboards, so I can't really be in it. So, yeah, sometimes I do. What's your job? I'm doing a PhD in chemistry. Are you still poor? Yes, it's a full-time job, but I don't get any salary or grants, and I don't get unemployment benefits or any other kind of benefits either, so yeah, kinda. Do you do any gaming with your keyboards? Yeah, a fair amount. What is your favorite game currently? Currently, I mostly play Overwatch and Killing Floor 2. What is your favorite game of all time? What is your favorite dessert? Banoffee pie. It's definitely the best thing I've discovered here in the UK. Will you do a video of you finding things in a recycling centre? I've been asked this a few times, but I don't really see the point. It would just be me going to a recycling centre, going, hey mate, how's it going? Anything in today? Oh, I'll have a look, and then probably nothing will come in. Other than keyboards, what would you say are your favourite hobbies? I absolutely love travelling. I have a passion for music and film, especially horror, and I really like languages. Did you ever consider narrating audiobooks? Yeah, I'd love to actually. Coffee or tea, and how do you take it? I dislike tea a lot less than coffee, and I drink it the way Brits do, so just some milk in it. Tits or ass? I'm not that much of an ass guy, I'm more into the chest area myself. What are your PC specs? I printed them out for you, actually. How many keyboards are currently in your possession? 117 different models and about 140 in total, I think. What kind of mouse do you use? Some kind of cheap Logitech laser mouse. It's pretty good actually, I like it a lot. What keycap is that in your profile picture? It's not an actual keycap, it's just an image of an avatar I frequently use superimposed on a keycap. If there was a keycap like that, I'd really like that actually. Have you ever broken any keyboard? I've worn out one rubber dome keyboard, but I never really broke any that I didn't mean to disassemble. Have you considered designing your own Switch? I would if I had the time, money and the market for it. Are you planning on accepting more keyboards being sent in by companies for review, provided that you give an honest opinion? Well, I'm always ready to accept. The question is just whether they're going to send them. Are you ever going to do mainstream gaming keyboards like the Razer Chroma and Corsair K70? Oh, you mean like this one? Or this one? Or maybe that one? Yeah, that's 3 Corsair K70s. Actually, I got hired recently by Tom's Hardware to do written keyboard reviews for them. So I got sent in a bunch like that for review. However, due to obvious legal reasons, I can't review these on my own channel as well. Have you ever used an Apple A1243 keyboard? Oh, that's one of these. Yeah, I've got a bunch of these. I will be doing a video about that sometime in the future. What's the best and easily available tactile and clicky switches? I'd say either Buckling Springs or Matthias clicky switches. Other switches might be better, but they're not forthcoming. What are the best rubber dome keyboards out there? As you'd expect, I'd say either BTC boards or Topra, although Scorpius boards are pretty good as well. What's the loudest switch you've ever heard or used? With the solenoid on, it would be the beam spring I reviewed recently. But if it's just intrinsic switch noise, then it's probably the Model F actually. What is your opinion on Zelio switches? I haven't tried them yet. I haven't tried them yet. I'd love to though. They sound quite promising. When are you going to decorate your walls with keyboards? Funny you should say that. Right when I started collecting keyboards, one of my colleagues said at some point I should, and I definitely can now. What is the best old Clicky keyboard? I get asked that sort of question quite a lot, but the problem is there's no real answer for that, because people want different things in a keyboard. Some people want build quality, others want great keycaps, and others are just looking for switches. And even then the opinions really vary, because someone might prefer dicer PBT, or others want double shot ABS, or some people like buckling springs and others like Alp switches and whatnot. It just really depends on what you want. Do you have any Artisan keys? Yes, just one. My wingnut trove key. What do you think of some Artisans being sold for crazy prices? Well, I know of a Topra keycap that got sold for $1,000 a while ago, and my opinion on that is, obviously, for me that's ridiculous. I can't afford it, but if you really want it and you've got the money, why not? Somebody else will get rich off it. Do you think that modern mechanical keyboards are not as good as classic keyboards? I used to think that, but actually I've realized that the focus has shifted a little bit. Old mechanical keyboards were completely targeted towards typists, whereas nowadays gamers are a massive part of the mechanical keyboard market, and they just tend to want different things from a keyboard. Also, classic keyboards tend to be pretty hard to find, whereas a modern mechanical keyboard you can just buy in a shop, and let's be honest, most people don't actually want to scrounge around for old mechanical keyboards, let alone ones that are in good condition or can be easily converted to USB, so it's not quite as clear cut as I had originally thought it was. What is your opinion on cannibalizing vintage keyboards for making new keyboards, or your opinion on drastically modding vintage boards to fit modern aesthetics and form factors? Heresy! No, it depends a little bit. If you take something like an 8101, which is cheap and very plentiful, they made millions of these things, I'd say, go for it. But some people take apart really rare, really cool vintage boards, and then they stick them in this modern 60% layout, which I can never really get the grips with, because I really like my keyboards as big as they come. So yeah, I don't really see the point, but if they want to do it, I guess it's up to them. What do you think of keyboard prices nowadays? For example, is it normal to pay 200 euros for a small keyboard? Well, it's a bit hard to justify it for me, because my entire collection put together costs less than that. But like I said, some people don't really want to scrounge around for old keyboards. Also, it should be noted that even with these high prices, the keyboards are still cheaper than they actually used to be in the 80s. What is, in your opinion, the best keyboard and keyboard layout for software developers? Well, I wouldn't know because I'm not one, but I think most computer people religiously worship the HHKB because it's got a Unix layout or something. Best quality keycaps for Alp switches from your experience? I really like Alp's double shots, but some people like dicer PBT a lot. If you like that and you don't like the weird italicized fonts on the SGI Bigfoot or Apple keyboards, then you're pretty much left with the old dicer 8101 keycaps. What are your thoughts on ergonomic keyboards like the Microsoft 4000, Kinesis Advantage, Ergodox, etc.? I can't use them at all, so don't ask me. I basically get cramps just looking at those things. What do you think the chances are that new Alps switches will start to be made again, given that the old machinery still exists somewhere, a bit like what happened with GMK or with Unicomp? Actually, I've spoken with an old Alps employee who used to make keyboards, and he said that the machinery and documentation has all been disposed of, so I think the chances are pretty much nil. Can I buy a keyboard off you, pretty please? I sometimes sell keyboards on GeekHack or Desk Authority. At the moment I've got a few Alcatel keyboards with double-shot cherry keycaps. You mostly use full-size keyboards, I think, but do you use separate numpads or macro pads, and what do you think about them? Excellent question. I've got one on the way, actually. What is your favorite game controller? A dead one. What's your favorite keycap profile? Classic OEM. What is your all-time favorite key switch? Some people have asked me this again because I brought out the Beamspring video recently, which I called the best switches I've ever tried. And indeed they are. I think they are the best switches, but they're still not my favorites. My favorites are still Blue Alps, and I recognize that Beamsprings are a better design and they feel better, but I just really like Blue Alps. If I use a Blue Alps board, that just makes me happy in a way that Beamsprings don't. That's completely objective, of course, I know, but it's just what I think. What is your favorite Cherry style switch? Cherry MX Blues. The sound is terrible, but the tactility is a lot better than Brown or Clear, and the linear switches are just awful. What is your favorite tactile non-clicky switch? Orange Alps. Assuming you'll answer with an Alps switch, how would that answer change if I restrict it to non-Alps switches? Probably Topra then. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed making it. There are a few questions asked that are already answered in the first Q&A video. There is a few very specific ones that I'll answer in the comments of the announcement video itself, and there is one I very specifically didn't answer because it will get answered in a video shortly in the near future. But anyway, that's it for the moment, and see you guys next time.